name's Janice. I'm a case manager at Share Homestead, and I've been with the agency for 2.5 years now.
I like staying at the Orchards Inn because it's really opened up a lot of doors to services for me. This is my first time experiencing homelessness ever, or even any major hardships in my life. I'm not familiar with the systems of getting help or anything like that. And so since coming here, it's really helped me to identify my barriers of housing, help me get some credit counseling, so that way I could try to get that back under control, so that way I can get back into housing.
Families that come to our shelter that are experiencing homelessness for the first time are very overwhelmed. It's a very traumatic situation, and learning to navigate the services that are available can be very hard, let alone it can be embarrassing for folks to ask for that information.
I've been working the whole time, which is, I guess, probably a little bit odd to think of when you think of homeless people. But anymore, it's more of just like experiencing homelessness, not just like someone that just doesn't work or uses drugs or chooses to be homeless. It's actually a very, very hard world out there. And once you lose your place, I had no idea how hard it was to try to find another place.
We have a lot of families that come to us straight from living on the streets, camping, coming from cars. When you stop and think about that, if we weren't their next stop, there would be no next stop. They would keep camping. These kids wouldn't have access to education, clothes, playgrounds, friends, networks, resources. The shelter is just such a home base for these families and gives them a break to stop and gather the resources they need to get those kids into a home.
So for my kids experiencing homelessness, at first it was very hard. I don't think my kids understood necessarily all of what was going on because it happened so fast. Somehow we've managed to all stay together and still stay a very close family, even with the challenges imposed, with 2 teenagers being homeless or experiencing homelessness. It's been very hard on them. But being able to come here after being at the WHO, I think it's actually restored a little bit of their faith in me, because they see that it's not like it's just our family. There's stuff that just happens even when you have a good parent, and to just kind of try to be good sports about it. It's not necessarily the best way to teach this lesson, but it's definitely taught my kids the lesson of, things could be worse, and appreciate what you have.
When clients are in shelter, they see all of our community members join together and come in and bring towels and food and clothing and blankets. And not too long ago, I heard our door open, and I went to greet the donor that was bringing in some stuff, and it was a family that had not moved out too long ago. They didn't have anything when they came into shelter, and they knew how important all those donations were. So when they got settled in, they sorted through their belongings, and they brought to the shelter what they didn't need for themselves anymore. And to me, there's no bigger success than a client becoming a donor.
Every American family was only 3 paychecks away from homelessness. And really, it stuck with me that that's how it is now.